everyone, Big Bob with Tales of a King. Welcome back to another edition. Today we're in Moreno Valley, California. We're going to speak with Richard, aka Warpath. Stay tuned, King Life.
Husky guy, right? You know what I mean? Just bigger, thicker, big boned, right? And so, but I always envied those guys, man. I was always a little bit self-conscious about myself, taking my shirt off. That's kind of like what led me into like all my struggles, right? Like having insecurities, drinking a lot. Me and the wife, we started having issues because of that. So it all stemmed from me not taking care of myself properly. And I just, like I said, I used the vices as a crutch, just as a way to kind of escape life, get by. And hopefully it would be gone, disappear. But then I'd wake up after a mean-ass hangover and I'd still be the same person. Even worse now, you know what I mean? Because I didn't take care of the root cause of it. So that's what kind of led me to where I'm at today, you know, not wanting to be that person.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Tales of a King. To my right, I have Warpath. What's up, brother?
What's going on, brother?
Thank
you for having me.
AKA Richard on Instagram. He's warpath.fit.
Yes, sir.
And his link will be below. Once again, we want to thank our sponsors, Black Will Investigations, for making this episode and every episode possible. We appreciate you guys. You guys have any legal needs, be sure to reach out to them. Once again, that link is down below, and let them know Tales of the King sent you so they know it's working. Let's get to it. How you doing, Richard?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I am good. I just had my coffee.
Me too.
A couple of peanuts.
I need to have that coffee.
Yeah. All the old man stuff.
Right?
Had a good workout this morning. I was like, I want to get in tonight, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to go see Warpath. I've already get in now.
You got to get it in, man. No excuses, right?
No excuses.
No excuses.
No excuses. Plus, we're taking off out of town next week, so I have to continue for the rest of this week.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was hard. I woke up at 3, but it's done.
There you go. Got it out of the way.
So what keeps you motivated to, because this is what you do.
Right, yeah. Man, just not going back to who I was, man, honestly. You know, I think about that every day. You know, I wake up, I'm like everybody else. I'm unmotivated sometimes, right? And, but I got 4 kids, you know, I got a wife, and I got people that depend on me, you know, to be who I am today, because who I was before just wasn't cutting it, you know, and that's kind of where it's led me to this point right now where I'm at. And that's why I don't want to go backwards. You know, that's my thing, man. If you're not progressing, you're kind of actually messing up in a way. Because in life, you're never staying the same, right? You're either getting worse or you're getting better. So that's what keeps me motivated, man. And that's what keeps me going and staying focused, kind of where my vision is, you know. So yeah, that's a little bit of where I'm at.
So when you say you don't want to go back to where you came from, take us there. Take us a little bit to where you come from.
So basically my background, man, my vice, one of my issues was alcohol. You know, I started drinking at a very young age, 13, 12 years old. And just like any, I guess, teen would do, right? You go into the liquor cabinet that your parents have and start dabbling and seeing, you know, hey, what's this? What's that? I see dad drinking this. Maybe I'll try it, you know, and I liked that feeling. I liked that chemical. I liked that rush, you know, and I noticed that's what kind of led me into getting into the alcohol later on in life. I used it as like a way of escaping, you know. So that's where I come from as far as my background on struggling with where I was. I was also overweight, you know. I was 250 pounds at one of my heaviest. I was probably more. At 250, I stopped weighing myself. I was like, that's it, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't look at myself in the mirror no more. I kind of lost myself, you know, because I grew up as an athlete. I played football, I wrestled, did baseball. I even did.
So you were active.
I was active, you know. I was even in MMA and stuff like that. But I was never, even when I was in those sports, I was never like the body type that I wanted, right? Like I always seen other guys, my friends, they were in shape, they had the abs, they had muscles and stuff like that. And I was okay. I wasn't like, I was like that husky guy, you know what I mean? Just bigger, thicker, big boned, right? And so, but I always envied those guys, man. I was always a little bit self-conscious about myself, taking my shirt off. So that's kind of like what led me into like all my struggles, right? Like having insecurities, drinking a lot. Me and the wife, we started having issues because of that. So it all stemmed from me not taking care of myself properly, you know? So that's a little bit of where I'm at. And I just, like I said, I use the vices as a crutch, just as a way to kind of escape life, get by, and hopefully it would be gone, disappear. But then I'd wake up after a mean-ass hangover, and I'd still be the same person. Even worse now, you know what I mean? Because I didn't take care of the root cause of it. So that's what kind of led me to where I'm at today, you know, not wanting to be that person no more.
When you say you quit weighing yourself because you didn't care no more, like you literally said, well, if I get to 280, I'll never know, or if I get to 300, I'll never know. That's just the way it is.
It was just like escaping, right? Like I didn't want to face reality. I didn't want to face who I was. So like at 250, I'm like, okay, that's my limit. Like I'm done after that. So I don't want to step on a scale and see 260. I'm just gonna hide it. You know what I mean? It's like out of sight, out of mind.
It's not funny, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it is funny now in a way because the way my mindset was just so flawed. You know, and I think a lot of people struggle with that. Like if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, right? If you kind of put it underneath the bed, it's not there no more. You can kind of just go about your day and just figure it out from there. But it's always gonna be there. In back of your mind, it's always there. So every single time I looked in the mirror, I was reminded. Right? Every single time I picked up a drink, I was reminded. But then that just led me to go deeper and deeper down this hole, which just kept me going. It kept me going down that hole that I didn't want to go to. But for some reason, as people, we just continue doing that for whatever reasons, right?
Now, as you're going down this hole, you're going deeper, would you say you're spiraling out of control, or you're just steadily digging a hole? Just keep doing the routine, drinking, working, dabbling in whatever, or were you like, you're going in? It
was a little bit of both. So I kind of explained myself as like a binge drinker in a way. I'd be cool, right? I could stop for a day or two. I tried the whole, you know, I'm not gonna drink for a little while, I'll just drink on the weekend thing. And I did that for a good month or two. And then slowly I started, okay, let me have a beer after work on a Monday. Okay. Let me take care of the hangover, right? Because I drank all weekend, woke up Monday feeling like shit. Let me just have one to take off that edge before work. Like that's when I started getting to that point of like, man, I'm even drinking before work now. Wow. You know what I mean? Like I'm having a beer, not getting drunk and messed up, but just to kind of level me out, you know, like an addict would do, right? He needs a hit just to feel normal. And that's when I was like, holy shit, man, like I need an external source just to feel normal. You know, so like it was a little bit of both. I would say at some points I was spiraling down big time. I was just blacking out every weekend. It would come in phases, then I would stop. Me and the wife would have a long talk. She'd threaten, like, man, I can't do this no more. And then I'd promise her the world, right? Okay, I'll calm down, I'll stop. Let me try to see if I can get some help. I'll go to an AA meeting here and there. I keep her happy with that, and then I would still find myself going back into that same routine, right? So it was a little bit of both. I would slowly start digging myself, and then bam, dig a damn hole even deeper, and then come out a little bit, and then go again. So it was just like that cycle, man, and it was just, it was tired. You know, I was tired.
So you said, so your wife wasn't involved with you in drinking, or, I mean, heavily like you?
So she's like the type where she could have one or two and be cool. Okay. You know what I mean? And I envy those people, man. I wish that I could do that, you know, because I can't, and that's just me. But you know, she kind of, now that she's at the position she's at, because she's sober as well, we're kind of doing this fitness thing together, she's kind of realized that, you know, in a way she was kind of allowing it in a way, because, you know, she would accept it and be like, okay, it's cool, you know, and then she would have drinks with me. So she's taken actually responsibility also, not to say it's her fault, because I own up to everything that I've done, but in a way she's like, you know what, I'm sorry, because I was telling you to stop, but then when we go out and eat somewhere, I was also ordering a margarita in front of you, right? Like, how can I say I want you to stop and I love you and you need to stop doing this, but then I'm right there tempting you with the same thing that I want you to stop with. You know what I mean? So she's like, as your wife, I should have at least not been so selfish and at least not drank in front of you, I guess, right? Because I knew you had that issue. You know, but yeah, she was one of the ones that she never, I mean, she could have one drink and be good, you know, but she doesn't drink no more. So
who wants one drink?
Yeah, I can't have one drink, bro. I don't know.
So now you guys also, you got history.
Yeah.
You guys been together for how long?
13 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 13 years. So we met, yeah, she was 18, I was 20, you know, and yeah, we've been together ever since. It's a funny story. I say, like, she's my saving grace in a way, and we've been together literally ever since, because we met and I was on house arrest.
Oh, wow.
So I literally couldn't leave my house. So she would come over.
Angel was brought to you.
Yeah, like, dude, she's from Texas too.
Really?
So she's not even from Cali. Her mom lived 2 doors down from me, okay? And I couldn't leave. I couldn't step outside my property. So I would, you know, do my daily morning routine, go walk to the street, hang out, get some fresh air, come back inside. And I turn to my right and I see this beautiful woman. I'm like, who the heck is that? I've never seen her before, you know? And I guess she was visiting. So she was visiting her mom. She's from, like I said, from Texas. Her mom lived in California, and she was visiting for the summer. And my brother happened to know her sister.
Oh, wow.
And her sister lived here. And so my brother and her sister went to school together. And I was like, hey, who is that over there at, you know, so-and-so's house? And she's like, oh, that's, you know, Christiana. She's visiting from Texas. That's, you know, her sister. I'm like, tell her to come over. You know what I mean? Like, I can't go. Yeah. I was like, in fact, we're throwing a barbecue for one of my buddies. He was in the Army, and he was about to be deployed. So we're gonna throw him a barbecue at my house since I couldn't go out. And so I was like, we're throwing a barbecue this weekend. Have her come over. We'll have a few drinks, you know, just barbecue, whatever, hang out. So she ended up coming over, and it was ever since, man. She was over every day. We played pool in the garage. We hang out. And I always told her, one day I'm gonna take you out on a date. You know, one day I owe that to you. Right. You know what I mean? And she like always laughed and stuff. And it was like, we played it slow, you know. We didn't even start dating until like a year after we were hanging out, you know. But yeah,
we've been to leave the house.
After I was allowed to leave the house, you know, at least when I was released. So yeah, it's just we've been together for a long time. You know, she's been with me ever since.
So you guys, you've been through everything that you've struggled with so far in your life with her.
Yeah,
which is
pretty
huge.
much. Yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah.
A lot of people these days, relationships don't last very long, especially with addicts and you know, stuff like that. That kind of lifestyle. People, you know, men are women, they're like later. So that's awesome, man. Good for her.
Yeah, yeah. She's a strong woman, man. Put up with my shit. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, yeah, she is. Not.
Yeah, I admit it.
So I want to talk about your method of training. You make me scared. You're blunt, you're forward, you tell it like it is, you tell people, I mean, you call people fat, you call people lazy, you want to be that person. Does that method actually work?
100%, because it worked for me. You know, that's the only way that I was able to change. Because I've had those people, you know, hey man, like, you should probably think about stopping. Or, you're not that fat, I mean, you like the way you look, kind of, right?
When you say stopping from training?
Or no, just like stopping drinking, you know, like, you know, maybe you should stop drinking a little bit, you know, like, maybe it is getting a little problem, but I mean, you could drink on the weekends, right?
They're like, just kind of like
siding with me.
Hey dude, like.
Yeah, yeah, like kind of like giving me a hint, but then me, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Okay. Like, I'm the person that I need to hear it like it is, and that's the only way it's gonna hit me. You know, so I notice a lot of people learn that way. And that's a different approach to some people, but it does work. And all my stuff is out of love. So, you know, love ain't lies. So if I'm over here trying to tell you, like, maybe you do got a problem, but then I know you fucking got a problem, or you got a problem, you know, it's just like, man, like, I gotta tell you how it is.
Right.
Because I love you and I want you to change. I can see where you're going. I've been there. And if you don't change right now, it's gonna be a hard road for you. You know what I mean? So I'm very, very blunt in a way that I just care, and I'm talking to myself a lot of the times in my content. I'm talking about stuff that I've been through. I'm talking about stuff that I've dealt with, that I'm dealing with, and that's where a lot of people come to me like, dude, how in the heck are you talking to me? Like, how did you know I'm going through this? How did you know that I have to hear it this way? Like, you remind me of my dad. My dad passed away, but he was hard on me like this. He gave me that tough love like this, and I missed that. This is what I'm needing. Like, how does your coaching work? I know you could help me because the way that you're talking to me, it's already affected me. It already makes me want to change.
Just hearing that in your face.
Just hearing that,
like, dude, this dude's right. Like, whatever it may be, I guess. You know, whether, I mean, I'm sure you have people that reach out to you besides for health reasons. You're like, hey man, I do have a drinking problem. I do have a drug problem.
Right.
Can we start there and then maybe move into health? You get that as well?
Yeah, 100%. And that's my method is I use nutrition and I use the fitness to remove vices, right? Our whole thing is my program is really like a mindset program. We just happen to use nutrition and we use fitness in order to create that mindset, right? So it's all about forming discipline. So when I was 250 pounds, I had an alcohol issue. I thought I was an alcoholic and I was just fat. But in reality, I lacked discipline. I couldn't control the drinks I was having, how much I had. I couldn't control the food that I was having or how much I had. At the time, my bank account was being affected by it. Why? Because I lacked discipline. I couldn't say no. I just gave in to my feelings, right? So what is discipline? Discipline allows you to have the freedom to actually live the life that you want to live by holding yourself back a little bit from that reward right away, but you get it later on.
And discipline hurts in the beginning.
It does.
It hurts.
It does, and that's why it's so hard for people. They don't want to go through that pain first, right? But that's what's needed in order to get to the other side, because your blessings are on the other side of that comfort zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then if you can get to that other side, if you can get your mind right to say, you know what, this is for my greater good. It might hurt right now, but in the long run, it's really gonna help me. If you can get into that mindset, now you're choosing to do the hard route.
Right.
Not in the sense of making your life hard on purpose, like, oh, I need to go out and, go to prison in order to make my life hard or go do certain stuff. No, it's just saying no to the drink right now because I'm gonna feel so much better on Monday when I wake up, alcohol free, no hangover, especially if you deal with that kind of stuff. It's like, it gives you that sense of pride, like, wow, I didn't think I could do that, and I did.
And not only that, you want to do it, right? But you go back to your buddy's house or your friends, then you got to hear from them. Oh, whatever you are, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm doing this for me. Like, can you just respect that and let me do it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people, I won't drink from time to time. Like, I'll go through little binges where I'm not drinking at all, and it's like I can still have fun.
Yeah.
But there's some people who are like, I think they're afraid to come out and be like, oh, I can't go. Whether it's a problem or not, I think they're afraid of the last back, which I think it's kind of jacked up. Like people say, oh, right on, all right, Warpath, do your thing, man. Come over, have a good time anyway. You know what I mean?
100%.
I feel people fear that as well.
Right. And it's because they're also fearful of themselves. If they see Big Bob stopping, he's not drinking, he's bettering himself. Well, what does that say about me? How come I'm not doing that? Am I bettering myself or am I staying the same? I see Big Bob leveling up. He's doing things. He's starting his business. He's still handling the family. He has a great life, and he's cutting out the stuff that he doesn't, feel is serving that purpose. Well, what about me? So they kind of want to put you back in that spot,
right?
Because it makes them feel uncomfortable in a way, And I've noticed that with a lot of my friends, a lot of my family. They're like, why don't you just have one? I'm like, because I can't have one. I don't want one.
Right.
I feel so good without one. Why don't you just support me? Because I feel good and I want to do better, right? But it's them. So when people are trying to hold you back in that regard, it's more about them. They're kind of being selfish in that regard by like, man, he's kind of making me feel a certain way. I'm used to him always drinking. I'm used to him always eating. Now he's not. Should I be doing something now, right? And subconsciously, we start to think about our life in that way of like, we start to evaluate our life. Like, well, I know deep down inside, my conscience has been telling me to cut down on this, but I'm not. Maybe I should. I see him doing it. So, yeah, it's like we still deal with peer pressure as adults, right? We teach our kids about it, but we still deal with it also, So
as I get older, I find it's easier to say fuck off than it is to be like, whatever, man. Like,
and that's the thing, bro. It's like I don't care about what people think about me now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a wife. I have my kids. I have my house. I have my business. Like, if my wife's okay with it, if my kids are happy with it. Not to be mean or anything, but really, it doesn't matter what you think about me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm still living my life. I'm way better than who I was, right? So it's just one of those things that you gotta just look out and make sure that you're improving all the time.
That's right. So one thing I want to ask you about is I take this personal. I don't like it, but you're gonna explain probably to me why I don't like it. Is when you go on your lives or you do a video, you talk about drinking, right? Me, I'm a weekend drinker if I'm able to, right? It's not like come Friday, come Saturday, it's on. It's like, okay, if I'm able to. I don't drink during the week because I'm too busy, right? Gym, work, family, business. Same thing. I could have one or two, but in my mind, what's the point? So I'd rather not do it. I want 3 tall boys, not one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, no, it's not a vice or a problem. I know me.
Right.
Now, you go on when you go on your talks and you down everybody, not necessarily the guy with the vice, not necessarily someone like me, but I feel like maybe down is the right word. You're talking to everyone at the same level. Now, are you doing it on purpose? Are you talking more towards the people with the vice, or more to the guy like me, or whoever is listening? Or
it's really whoever's listening. So like what you're hearing from me, you're gonna take it your way.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter what I say. I could say things that I think is coming out of love, out of softness, but you could think that it's mean, right? But that's not the way. So everybody has their own perception on how they're gonna receive things.
Okay.
That's not really my problem, right?
Right.
My problem, or my message, is to those that can't do what you do, right? They have a problem where it's affecting their family. It's affecting their kids. They know it, but they're still choosing to do it.
They know it, but they're
you know what I mean? And then also, it's so selfish in a way because it's not about you. What about your nephew that looks up to you and he sees you drinking, and you might not have the problem, but he's 10 years old. When he grows up to be 21, what if he has the alcohol problem? But he says, you know what, my uncle's always drank. That's what we do. That's what men do. Now it's about him having that alcohol issue. And so like what I'm thinking about is like, I want to serve and be a good example. I might not have the problem, but somebody else watching me might have it.
Okay.
And maybe I'm tempting them, right? And I would hate for them to go out, drive, get in an accident, get a DUI, kill somebody else because they had an issue, right? So I kind of try to think of it more of like, don't be so selfish, right? Yes, you want to have a drink, but what about somebody that's watching you? Maybe they have the issue. You know what I mean? So I'm talking to those that really have a problem, but they still are choosing to do it regardless of what anybody else thinks. Have you ever asked your wife if she likes you when you're drunk? Have you ever asked, and not talking to you, I'm talking about the people that are drinking and getting messed up, and you get those macho men, right? I'm gonna go out and have a few beers with the guys. I don't care what you think. I worked hard. You know, I did this and I did that. I take care of my bills. Yes, you do, and you know, you're a good person for that. But what about the people that just want you home sober? They just want to view you how you are. They love you for you.
Right.
They don't need you drunk, right? And those are the people that I'm talking to, and I get that all the time. Man, I'm doing that because I know it's an issue. I know my wife doesn't like it. My kids are always saying like, Dad, do you have to drink today? And then I still go do it. That's who I'm talking to.
Right.
And I'm talking to those people because it's me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm talking to myself in a lot of these cases, but like I said, I envy the people that can go out and have a beer on the weekend and have it not be an issue. I wish I could do that, you know what I mean? Like, if I could do that, I might be drinking right now, but I can't. So, you know, those are the people that I'm really trying to get to is, and that goes with everything, you know, like whatever you're doing, just concentrate on who's maybe watching you. And it's not always about you, because I was really selfish. So I always thought like, well, I'm not hurting nobody. But in reality, I could have been, you know, I could have, my son could be watching and having beers in the fridge, and then he grows up and be like, I need to have beers in my fridge now. You know, and then he develops an alcohol issue. You know, I just don't want that for him. So yeah, everything that I talk to, man, when I'm talking to people, it's not directed to anybody. It's more of like talking to myself. And then whoever it fits is going to receive the message in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. When I used to do the, I don't do it no more, I got away from it. I need to get started doing it again. The think about it. I don't know if you remember that. I would say think about it.
Yeah.
That was experiences I went through or was going through. You know, I would say what I was going to say, and at the end I'd say think about it. Like, oh damn, like it's real life, experiences. But one thing I want to talk about, which I think was huge, did you do a seminar with Watson Fit?
Yes. Well, I went to a high performance summit recently. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Recently, we went to the summit in Santa Clarita where he was speaking with Bedros, and Watson's one of my mentors. And so we just went there. You know, it was an entrepreneur high performance summit just to be around like-minded individuals who are just looking to, you know, level up, get better, and stuff like that. So yeah, we went there.
But you went on stage, right?
Yeah, he wanted me to just share my story on, you know, where I came from, how I've changed my life, and where I'm at now, basically.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was a good experience. You know, it was nice to share a stage with those killers up there, man. Because there's levels to this stuff, you know, and I'm just starting off, so it was cool just to be on there and experience like the future of what can be, you know?
Right on, man. That's awesome. I'm loving this. Hey, what year is your motorcycle? Because I want to go check it out.
2015 Softail Slim.
Let's go check it out.
Let's go.
Right here with your 2015 Softail Slim.
Yes, sir.
So with your crazy life still, right?
Yeah.
You're just minus all the bad stuff. Fitness, family, you know, phone calls, Zooms. When you find time to ride, is it that? And I'm asking you. I know what it is for me. Is it that release of?
Big time, man. Like, it's like everything that you just talked about goes out the window in a good way, though.
Right,
you know,
right.
Not to forget about my family or anything like that. It's just more of like being appreciative of like, man, like I get to enjoy this feeling right here, you know, of just being out on the road. I'm sure you know how it is, and just feeling free, right? Because like you said, you got phone calls, you got your training, you got the kids, you know, it gets hectic.
Right.
I got 4 kids, so it gets hectic. So this is like my release, my escape. Everything that I found in the drinking, I find it right here.
Wow.
You know?
That's a good comparison, actually.
Yeah.
And so, is this your first time
bike?
riding?
Yeah. I
Really?
just started riding a few years ago. You know, always wanted a bike, always loved them, man, but I was just never in the position to purchase one, honestly. So now that things changed, I finally got it, and man, fell in love ever since.
What a testimony, right? You couldn't afford them before. You changed your life. You're doing what you love now, right? Because you used to work in HVAC.
Yeah.
And now you're able to afford one.
Now
doing
I'm able to afford one.
what you love to do.
Right. Yeah.
Now, yeah, one thing I noticed, you don't promote the biker lifestyle, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
in your on your social media.
A little
Is that on
bit, little
purpose,
bit here
or-
and there. No, I mean, I do a little bit. You know, me and my son, he has his in there, his little toy bike, and I film us, you know, washing it, and he comes out here and he wants to ride it with me and stuff like that. But yeah, I just kind of, whenever I do ride, it's more of like my thing to escape.
Okay.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Not really to like put out there, like, look at me, I have a bike. It's just like, man, this is just what I do. And when I'm on my bike, I try not to be obviously on the phone, but just like being in the moment.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. So when I go on rides, I go with my dad. He has a bike. We have a few buddies, you know, we go ride with and stuff like that. And like, that's my time to just kind of just be there, be present.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And just like really be in tune with everything, man. So, but yeah, here and there, I'll put it on my stories, you know.
And what did you bought it as is, or did you do some upgrades to it?
I
or-
bought it pretty much as is. The only thing I did was I added the Carlini apes, and
Okay.
then I put the LED on the front. That's about it. Everything else was, you know, the way I bought it.
I mean, this is clean. Do you plan on
Yeah.
doing anything to it, or?
Maybe. I'm actually planning on probably getting another one. So I want to get something different.
Okay.
Maybe like a Road King, or
There you go.
you know, different style.
Right,
different style
right,
bike.
right.
So
Does your
yeah.
wife ride, or?
She actually wants to get a bike.
Oh,
you know?
shit.
Yeah, she wants to get a bike, and I'm like, let's get you on one first.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right.
So yeah, we're gonna get her get the back seat going and take her out on some rides and stuff like that. But she's all for it, you know. She supports it and
Right,
stuff like
right.
that. So yeah, it's it'll probably turn into a family thing. Watch.
That's cool, because
Yeah.
I've said this multiple times on here. Especially with riding, like if your wife or spouse doesn't support it,
Yeah.
it's not. I don't think it's fun.
It's yeah, because you got to fight them on like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm going out this weekend, right? And
again,
it's just like,
or
yeah, exactly.
where you at? Are you almost home?
Yeah.
Like, we know. So yeah.
yeah. So she's really supportive of it. You know, like I said, man, she wants to hop on, so we'll get her on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This seems cool, man.
Thank you.
Well, I can't wait for your. You said Road King, so we're gonna go with Road King, and
Yes, sir.
that's gonna be.
That's
where
gonna
we're
be the
going.
next investment there, man. So I'll probably save this one for my son, man. I want to keep it and
Yeah.
hand it down.
There it is, guys. Thank you, Richard, man. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for having us in your home. Of
course.
Thank you for breaking down what you do. You guys, if you're looking for some fitness or just some inspiration, hit up Richard. His link will be down below. We appreciate all of you. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Tales of the King. We'll see you guys soon. King Life.